Hey Reptilians! Today I'm bringing you a top 10 list of my favorite reptiles in video games. Well, the first half of a top 10 list anyway. This video will cover entries 10 through 6, while my next video will break into the top 5. Let me start by setting some ground rules. First, and this may be a controversial one, but dragons are not actual reptiles. Yes, I know, that may seem kind of hypocritical coming from a bearded dragon, but the dragons I'm talking about are the mythical kind. You know, with wings, fire breath, and all that. Sorry, Spyro, you're gonna have to sit this one out. Second, I'm not including birds, even though they are technically descended from the dinosaurs, which makes them, if we're gonna be strictly accurate here, reptiles. There's just something about the feathers, they freak me out a little bit. Third, I'm limiting this list to one character per series. As much as I'd love to make a list of the top 10 reptilian Pokemon, I need to give some lesser known games a chance to shine. That said, characters who have spun off into their own series are still fair game. So without further ado, here's my list of the top 10 reptiles in video games.
Number 10.
It seems like everybody and their grandmother has been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons lately. I know I certainly have. In many ways, it's the perfect panacea to the troubled times we live in. Real life got you stressed? Why not take some time off and play a game where you toil for hours to work your way out from under a seemingly ever-increasing pile of debt? Oh, wait. Though as much as I like New Horizons, doesn't it feel like there's something missing? Something old and scaly? No, I'm not talking about Grandma Ethel from Dinosaurs. I'm talking about Tortimer. Tortimer served as the mayor of your town in the first few Animal Crossing titles, always there to celebrate a holiday or sleep. Mostly he just slept. In New Leaf, he finally retired, living out his days on a swanky private island. You do you, Tortimer. In New Horizons, he's conspicuously absent, leaving some fans to speculate that the old Terrapin passed away. Is that you, Tortimer? Mostly, though, I think he's just tired of the private sector slowly gobbling up all his responsibilities as a public servant. I mean, Tom Nook's company, Nook Inc., pretty much owns the town at this point. Seriously, what's up with that?
Number 9.
Coming in at number 9 is the main character from a game that probably about 9 people still remember. I'm talking, of course, about Croc from Croc, Legend of the Gobos. No? You're not one of the 9? Okay, moving on. Anyway, this 1997 PlayStation platformer served as sort of a half-step between Crash Bandicoot's linear levels and Spyro the Dragon's open exploration. Maybe the most interesting thing about it is that it was originally set to star none other than everybody's favorite dinosaur, Yoshi. That's right, Croc was developed by Argonaut Software, the very same company that made 3D graphics at home a reality with Star Fox and the Super FX chip for the SNES. They pitched the game to Nintendo as a Yoshi title, but Nintendo wasn't having it, so they retooled their idea and released it as a brand new IP. Funny enough, when Yoshi did finally make the jump to 3D graphics with Yoshi's Story, he would keep the 2D platforming gameplay that made him an icon on the SNES. In fact, unless you count spin-offs like Mario Kart, we wouldn't get to control Yoshi in 3D space until Super Mario Galaxy 2 on Wii. Get with the times, you old dinosaur.
Number 8.
For number 8, we're going from the early days of 3D platforming to a newer game that pays tribute to those bygone times. I'm talking about Yooka-Laylee from Playtonic Games. This was kind of a tricky one, since Yuka and Laylee come as sort of a package deal, and yet one half of that deal is not reptilian. That's right, Laylee the bat is a mammal, making her ineligible for this list. Yuka though? Yuka's my guy, my dude, my buddy. I dig Yuka. This green bloke with no pants was created by none other than legendary X-Rare character designer Steve Males. And mark my words, he won't be the last character designed by Males on this list. That guy draws a good reptile. Yuka is a chameleon, and while his game mostly takes cues from the Nintendo 64 platformer Banjo-Kazooie, his design was actually inspired by a lesser-known Nintendo 64 platformer, Chameleon Twist 2. How's that for a twist? A chameleon twist. Hehehe.
Number 7.
To find our number 7, we'll have to travel back to the early 80s, when coin-operated arcade games like Q*bert were the pinnacle of gaming. Q*bert is not a reptile. Well, at least I don't think he's a reptile. He's more of a... well, I don't know what he is exactly. I'd ask him, but I honestly can't understand anything he says. You know who is a reptile, though? Hubert's archenemy Coily. Coily is arguably one of the most important snakes in gaming, other than, well, that snake. But he's not a reptile. Before Bowser spit out a single fireball, Coily was there, hatching out of an egg and bouncing around like a little pogo stick. Go get him, Coily! Coily also appears in the Q*bert animated series, where he grows a pair of arms and leads a greaser gang?
Fight for my girl? You'll soon be the new Miss T.
But how?
By every foul and crooked method imaginable.
Ooh, I like it.
You know what? Let's just forget about that version of Coily.
Number 6.
Our number 6 reptile is none other than Reptile. Wait, what? You heard me right. You know, Reptile from Mortal Kombat. This fighter came from humble beginnings. He started as a secret character in the first game and was originally just a green palette swap of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Hey wait, that's not a reptile, that's just a guy in green clothing. In later games, he became a selectable character and eventually took on a more reptilian design. Now that's more like it. Like pretty much all Mortal Kombat characters, Reptile is known for his brutal fatality attacks, which include the ability to dig in with his fangs and spit acid on his opponents. You ever see a cobra spit venom in real life? Scary stuff. Unfortunately, his personality is not quite as scary. Reptile is the ultimate bootlicker, repeatedly bending the knee to series villain Shao Kahn in the hope that he'll revive his people. Come on, Reptile, you don't need to keep playing the lackey. It's time you took things into your own claws. So that's number 10 through 6. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to tune in next week for the top 5. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I release a new video. Stay scaly!